the fact that we have these almost human intelligence tools and we need to work out what we're going to be using them for. And I think 2026, which is coming up shortly, is our time for doing so. So I'm going to be talking about the capability overhang. Before I do that though, I want to jump in and look at my year with ChatGPT in review. Every company now has copied Spotify's idea of Spotify Wrapped. Spotify have been doing it for years, and suddenly this year, every single app that I opened, they're like, here's your year in review. And for some, made no sense, but fine. I'm glad everyone's doing it. I have not checked out what my Wrapped has yet. I wanted to do it live. I might regret this. I don't think there's anything embarrassing, but let's find out. So your year with ChatGPT, fingers crossed this will be okay. Let's open it up. Your year with ChatGPT, generated just for you. Let's begin. Oh, your year in poetry. You built from bright sparks into flame, turned live streams and playbooks to game. From AI with Kyle's grand shift came clarity, craft, and a lift. You proved momentum's your middle name. Bit of a weird poem, but that's fine. Let's look at the next one. 3 big themes of 2025 for me. Building the AI with Kyle ecosystem. Yes. You rebranded from Prompt Entrepreneur. Terrible name. I can't even say it properly now. Launched AIwithKyle.com, migrated playbooks and designed funnels, linking your daily content, newsletter, and AI workshop kit. Yes. Daily Show to growth engine. You turned your live streams into a consistent lead source, refining gears, automations, and ad testing to convert viewers into subscribers and customers. Yes. From creator to product operator, you systematize quizzes, certification, enterprise workshops, formalize contracts and prices, and built scalable tools to turn expertise into recurring business revenue. Yes, and yes, my ChatGPT is very much business focused. That's interesting. I do most of my business work. I do most of my coding. I do most of my product creation in Claude. I don't do it in ChatGPT. However, I've obviously done enough in ChatGPT for it to know what's going on. I think the reason for that is I tend to use ChatGPT for the persistent memory, the fact that it knows everything about me, whereas Claude doesn't really have that persistent memory to the same extent. So I do still do stuff in ChatGPT when I need to quickly think through ideas. But these are my big 3 themes for 2025 that all work related so far. Your 2025 chat stats, there were 9,678 M dashes. The M dash is a giveaway in AI writing. OpenAI obviously know this and they've added this as a bit of a joke. I was chattiest in June 2024. Oh, June the 24th, not June 2024, which would be not in 2025, funnily enough. So June was my chattiest day. Don't know why. I've sent 6,000 messages. I've had 789 chats. I've generated 196 images. That's interesting because I use Nano Banana for images. So I can't remember what I was generating. I'm in the top 1% of users. I've got a ChatGPT hat over there, which I should put on. I'll put on my ChatGPT cap because I'm in the top 1% of users for ChatGPT. Kind of surprising because Claude is my main model, the one I'm using on a daily basis, but I'm obviously still using ChatGPT a lot. Your chat style. Curious. This is bizarre. Yeah, that's good, but tighter. This is to do with writing. Okay. Okay, but go deeper. Also to do with, this is me talking about writing style. Nah, that's not it, lol. 50 Shades of Fairy. I think I was trying to come up with a joke. Is gum banned in Singapore? That's a question, that's not a chat style. Very bizarre. The curious, fast-moving, creative and self-aware, you bounce between deep technical questions, playful humor and entrepreneurial problem solving with natural conversational flow. I do talk to ChatGPT in particular with very light touch. So things like, no, let's do it better, or that's terrible communication. Let's make it shorter, tighten it up, get rid of this paragraph. Very short. With Claude, I tend to do much longer instructions. If 2025 gave out awards, you'd get most likely to automate himself out of a job. Cool. I'm proud of that. Building an empire of AI tools, funnels, and live streams, trying to automate the entire thing just to see if he could. Yes, I think AI is very useful for automating mundane work that I don't want to do. I use AI as much as possible. I'm a strategist, which is 3.6% of users share. This is Myers-Briggs-Meyer, maybe. So thinks big picture across domains, uses ChatGPT to evaluate trade-offs, synthesize information, and guide direction. True. They've created their own personality test here. If you're watching this live, tell me what you've got. I'm fascinated. I've got strategist. Makes sense because I use ChatGPT for big picture thinking. Let's have a look. Your year painted in pixels. Still life with tripod and latte. ChatGPT 2025. I do have a tripod here, but I do drink black coffee. I do not drink lattes. It's got my little streaming setup and video games here, and a lucky cat. Probably because I sometimes use ChatGPT for learning Chinese. So I speak Chinese, but sometimes I will go to ChatGPT and say, what does this mean? Or can you explain this idiom? So A Quiet Study of Creator Chaos. A Sony camera perched by a half-drunk latte. I only drink Americano or black coffee. Script waveform glowing. Yes, we use that. Playbook notes fanned like tarot. A single post-hog graph whispering ambition. I do use post-hog. Keep the camera not rendering properly. Thanks for chatting this year. Across drafts, questions, and rabbit holes, you found a place to work things out. Whatever 2026 brings, we'll chat about it. Where should we go next? Should we plan our 2026 goals? Should we plan a long holiday away? It also has an invite link, so I can invite people to ChatGPT. This is my year in review with ChatGPT. I'm going to take off my ChatGPT hat. I should get one for every model. When I'm talking about that model, I stick on the hat, right? This one still has the label on it. Most likely to automate himself out of a job. I'm happy with that. Tell me what you guys got. Oh, somebody's saying you have to move your mouse to get rid of the white. Let's do that. There we go. A walk with no headphones will solve the problem that's been opening your tabs for weeks. Thank you for that, Bound. No, I can't walk with no headphones. I have no attention span. Tell me in the comments or chat, but I'm happy with that. Most likely to automate himself out of a job. Cool. I'm going to hop across to some questions, see what's going on, and then talk about capability overhang. Let me check what's going on in chat. What are your thoughts on, do you mean the video generating software? Highfield. I don't mess with AI video. It's not particularly interesting to me. Some of the worst parts of AI are AI video because it does use a huge amount of electricity compared to text-based AI, and a lot of generated video AI is complete junk. It is the sloppiest. For me, it's something that I'm not interested in, but Higsfield I hear is pretty good if you are into AI video, but for me, it's not something that I know about, so I can't really talk about it. I cancel my ChatGPT and use Copilot instead. It's free. It's also not very good, but yeah, that's true. But ChatGPT has a free layer as well, and Copilot is actually built on ChatGPT. So Microsoft own 27% of ChatGPT, so OpenAI, the company, and ChatGPT is under the hood of Copilot. So when you are using Copilot, you are actually using ChatGPT through Microsoft. So it's the same thing. So using the free version of ChatGPT is not that much different to using the free version of Copilot. I would say it's probably better because Copilot tends to be a bit restricted. I know very few people who have had a good experience with Copilot, but if it works for you, fantastic. That's all that matters with these models, because people would say, what's the best model for this? What's the best model for that? It's up to you and how it fits into your workflow and style. Who am I to say Copilot's rubbish? Do you think starting an AI automation platform is worth it in 2026? Do you mean something like NA10 to help build automations? If you can build something like NA10, fantastic. It's a busy market, but if you can build it, great. The difficulty is not necessarily going to be the technical build of it anymore, because we have things like Claude Code, which can help with that. The difficulty is your marketing. When you ask if it's worth it or not, I think that's the big question, is how are you going to differentiate? How are you going to bring it to market and get customers? That's really going to be the big question in 2026, honestly, because it's so easy to build stuff now. Oh, like a Lindy AI competitive. Lindy.ai is similar. I think it's worthwhile. The way to do it is to build specifically for industries. Lindy, for example, it has the ability to create a support chatbot, a LinkedIn outreach automation, a meeting recorder, etc. What I would do is I would choose one of these use cases, really hone in on it, do it really well, and then provide that as a solution to particular industries. So you go after the real estate industry with support chatbots, your particular niche, and make all of your marketing, advertising, and content that you're putting out specific to that particular niche. Because if I am non-technical and I run a real estate company, and I've heard that I need to do something with artificial intelligence, and somebody maybe mentioned Lindy, and I come here, if I'm non-technical, I don't know what to do. It will say, meet your first AI employee. It's like, how can I help? And it says, describe your agent. As a non-technical person, I'll be like, what's an agent? I might type something like, I want help selling or renting properties for my real estate business. But more likely, a non-technical person will come here and be like, I don't know what's going on. Your job building a business is to help people in a particular industry into this world. This is actually something I'm going to be talking about in this live in particular. The people who are watching right now, the people who are watching this video on YouTube, TikTok, wherever, you're ahead. The fact that you're watching me chat about AI tells me that you are in like the top percent of people who are thinking about this stuff. Most people are not at that level yet. If you are marketing, you need to go to them. You need to help them with their specific use case and say, hey, You work in real estate. I'm going to help you build automated support chatbots, and it's going to increase your sales throughput of properties by 15%. So you're going to give them something very tangible. There's a lot of space in that area still. So you don't build yourself a Lindy, you don't build an N8N, but you build a specific kind of version for a specific market. There's a lot of money to be made in that space right now. I need an agent that will scrape LinkedIn. So if you go to Apify, apify.com, it has scrapers. I'm not logged in at the moment, but let's pull in a LinkedIn one. Mass LinkedIn profile scraper, LinkedIn job scraper, LinkedIn profile post scraper, etc., etc. These are pre-built scrapers. You could build your own using Claude code. It's a bit of a faff because you need to rotate IP addresses, you need to defeat captures, etc., etc. So it gets a bit fiddly. And if you're doing it on your own LinkedIn account, using that for access can get restricted. So it's quite a high risk. Instead, come to apify.com. They don't pay me. I just use Apify. You can find a pre-built scraper. Check how many people use it, how many stars it's got. This one has 33,000 users and 4.6 stars. Probably quite good. This one does not require any cookies, bulk processing, smart email discovery, etc., etc. So depending on what you need to scrape from LinkedIn, Apify will have a agent that can do it for you, and it's pretty cheap. This particular agent is $10 for 1,000 results. There's probably other cheaper ones. These are posts. This one gets email addresses. Pretty cool. This is $5 for 1,000 profiles. Check out Apify if you want to scrape anything. Apollo for leads, for example. You can use a scraper to go onto Apollo. If you want to scrape TikTok, there you go. It's all there. So Apify is really cool. I don't work for them. I just think it's great. I have apps and platforms I need someone to run with me. Big opportunity, 50% profit. Inbox me. I promise you won't be disappointed. You shoot me a message on here if you want. I thought creators could create personalized agents than others. then others can use in a marketplace feature. Oh, I see. So there isn't really an agent marketplace right now. There's lots of different agent platforms, but I haven't seen the marketplace. So that'd be cool. People have made a marketplace for N8N. It's got a workflow, so you can find other people's workflows. I'm not sure if you have to pay for these. What I haven't seen is a wide platform agnostic agent marketplace. Marketing is going to be your big thing. You need to get people to your marketplace who don't necessarily know an agent. You need to guide them through deploying these agents. It's definitely a huge marketplace, especially as agents get better, which they are now. There's a huge gap between what we know and what our customers know. So we can say, oh, it's easy. You hook up your API, give your key, set environment variables. You're going to lose most customers as soon as you mention API. You need to make things simple so they understand what they're getting and what it does. Do you think founder-led softwares are most important nowadays? Seems it's going that way. I think the market is going to go in different directions. There are always going to be huge enterprise level systems. Like companies like Salesforce are going to pivot into AI. They're going to continue to exist. I think at the enterprise level, at the huge B2B level, the clients, the customers of those pieces of software, they need the support, they need the uptime, they need it de-risked, and they're going to continue to work with gigantic companies who can provide that level of security. If it's founder-based, generally it's going to be a smaller, scrappier operation. Not always, but generally it's going to be smaller. And a founder-based SaaS company, one that's based on a content creator who has also created something on the side, so has also created software, generally they're not going to be able to provide that same level of white glove service, that same level of security, that same level of uptime. Not always, but I think the middle of the market will get hollowed out. Huge enterprise companies would pivot. They'll use artificial intelligence. They'll hold down their customers. And then at the lower end of the market, there's going to be a lot of disruption from small outfits, individuals basically working with artificial intelligence who are able to now operate a SaaS, software as a service, or to operate some kind of product basically by themselves or with a very small team thanks to the help of artificial intelligence. And that is going to rip the heart out of the middle of the market. So there are companies like DocuSign is one I always pick on. So DocuSign has 7,000 employees for what is basically document signing software. A lot will be marketing people, a lot of them will be sales, 100%, and they sell to large businesses, but that's still bloated. An individual can quickly spin up their own version of DocuSign, or companies can build their own version of DocuSign or any other piece of software. For example, very recently, Linktree put up their price by, I think they put it up by 40%. It went from like $7 to $10 or something like that. And I was like, I don't really want to play Linktree for what is basically a page of links. I made this Linktree clone in the back end. I can sort my links, I can toggle them on and off. I made it in about 10 minutes. So a lot of companies are also going to be able to replicate their own functionality using these tools. Is it as good as Linktree? No, but it's not costing me $10, $15 a month or whatever Linktree is now. So I think there is a huge opportunity for founder-based businesses where it's an individual basically who is working with artificial intelligence to provide value, and then also going out creating content, talking about their journey and carving out space in their market. They're not necessarily going to threaten the sales forces of this world, but they don't need to. They can very easily make themselves a business that's going to make them a few 100,000, maybe a few million at the lower end of that market, which is super exciting if you are into entrepreneurship. Nikki, oh, good morning. How are you? Josh says, love your knowledge, by the way. Thank you. I'm still learning. This is what's exciting about the modern form of AI since ChatGPT's public release. This is all new for everybody, which I find so exciting that we are all working this out and working out how we can build and how we can create stuff with this. So I guess my knowledge is slightly higher than average, but I do not purport to know everything at all. And I think that's so exciting that this is not an area locked down by experts. I'm going to hop into the actual topic because I haven't done a live for a week. I've got a lot to say. I want to talk about capability overhang. The first time I saw it was Ethan Mollick. This was March. So let's go back to this. Ethan Mollick, who wrote Co-Intelligence, works at Wharton as a professor, and he talks about artificial intelligence in a very intelligent way. He's one of the experts that you should be following for sure. Back in March, he said, the amount of capability overhang in current AI systems is hard to overstate, even in areas like vision and image creation. If AI development stopped today, and no indication that this is happening, we have a couple of decades to integrate it into work and life. This concept of a capability overhang, I think, is going to be super, super important in 2026 because we have at our disposal these incredibly intelligent models. We have GPT 5.2 from OpenAI, we have Claude Opus 4.5, Grok 4.2, and Gemini 3. These models are all extremely good. Every time a new model comes out, people are like, oh, ChatGPT is dead. Like Claude is the new king. And then Grok brings out something new and we're like, I'm never using Claude again. I'm cancelling my subscription. This happens every month or so. There's always a new thing and people overreact and say, this is the best thing ever. What we're forgetting is they are all really good models and they are getting better. What isn't keeping pace is our usage. We are still generally using these artificial intelligences for the same tasks, the same projects, the same ideas as we were a year or two ago. But these models are getting much, much better. This is something called a capability overhang. Andrej Karpathy, one of the co-founders of OpenAI, had a bit of a crisis the other day publicly on Twitter, which I thought was fascinating, which shows the capability overhang and the fear of falling behind with artificial intelligence and not knowing all it can do. So I just want to read this out because I think the context is important moving into 2026. So Andrej Karpathy, very smart guy, he says, I've never felt this much behind as a programmer. The profession is being dramatically refactored as the bits contributed by the programmer and are increasingly sparse and between the AI is taking over large chunks of it. He's talking about programming, but you can apply this to most work. I could be 10 times more powerful if I just properly string together what has become available over the last year or so. And a failure to claim that boost feels like a skill issue. There's so much new capability and I could move faster, but I need to string these together. How do I use MCPs, skills, and agents? How do I bring all of this together to 10x myself? This incredibly smart guy, one of the guys who helped build ChatGPT, and he is suffering a crisis of confidence. Oh my God, I feel like I'm falling behind. That tells us a lot. There's a new programmable layer of abstraction to master, involving agents, subagents, prompts, context, memory, modes, permissions, tools, plugins, skills, hooks, MCP, LSP, /commands, workflows, IDE integration, and a need to build an all-encompassing mental model for strengths and pitfalls of fundamentally stochastic, random, fallible, unintelligible, and changing entities suddenly intermingled with what used to be good old-fashioned engineering. Poor Andrej. This was the day after Christmas. You can feel the panic. Clearly some powerful alien tool was handed around, except it comes with no manual and everyone has to figure out how to hold it and operate it while the resulting magnitude 9 earthquake is rocking the profession. Roll up your sleeves and do not fall behind. He is speaking about programming, software engineering, coding. This is a guy who helped build ChatGPT. He knows what he's doing. He's a very smart guy. And even he is, as you can read from this block of text, is having a crisis of confidence. Like, oh my God, what is this? How do I use it all? What am I missing? So if you feel this on a daily basis with artificial intelligence, if you feel like you are falling behind, don't worry. One of the smartest guys working in this field is feeling that as well. What we're having right now is this capability of the overhang. The tools, intelligence, and models we have are incredibly powerful, and they're more powerful and more useful than we as humans are able to come up with use cases for. So he says here, some powerful alien tool was handed around, it's been given out to all of us, and we're still trying to work out how to use it. That is the capability of overhang. And this is not just in programming, this is in everything. Absolutely every single field is being hit with this right now. So I think this is a huge opportunity in 2026. This is something that if you can personally deal with this chaos, if you can deal with the pace of change, and you can work out how to use it in your profession, whether it's programming, engineering, medic, social worker, or teacher, if you can work it out in your field, you can help other people work this out as well. And if you can do that, you're going to do very well. A great example of this is Sankalp. He read this crisis of confidence from Andrej Karpathy, and he's like, it is confusing. So he put together a guide, which I'll put in the newsletter. The newsletter's free. If you go to AI with Kyle, you can sign up, and I'll put this guide in. He basically wrote this a day after Andrej Karpathy had the crisis of confidence, giving a rundown of how to use Claude code and agents. This has been seen nearly 1 million times, and he has become a hero inside of the coding community because he stepped up and he said, I'm going to help you carve your way through this confusion by putting together this guide. He probably used AI to help with this, putting this guide together. But this is specifically as a response to Andrej Karpathy, which is fascinating. So I'm going to put this into the newsletter. I am also working on a non-programming version of this. So me and Claude have already started to work on this, because there's a huge opportunity to help people with this crisis of confidence and capability overhang. This is the first version coming through as we come into the new year, is that if you can tackle with this chaos, if you can tackle this fear that a lot of people are having, and then you can help them, you can do very well. And there's many ways to do that. You can do what I'm doing, filter the AI news and updates. I do it through social media. So I hop on my phone, shoot short videos. I hop on this live. I write a newsletter. And if you could do something similar for your niche, you could do this for teachers and become helping to filter all of this. Not because you have a PhD in machine learning, not because you're necessarily a computer scientist, but because you are somebody who can translate and help the people in your particular field work out what the hell is going on. If you can do that in 2026, you're going to be in a very good position. Content is one way to do it. Consulting and advisory, going into companies and helping them to sort this stuff out. Coaching, business people get paid very well with that as well. And then giving workshops as well. And I wanted to flag this one up because this is where I personally focus. I've put together a 5-part mini course. It's on the website. Go to AI with Kyle, head of courses. It's called the AI Workshop Masterclass. When I give a workshop to a business, I charge about £1,500 per hour, about $2,000. The most I've ever charged is $4,000 in an hour, which is very good money because businesses need this help right now. So what I've done, this is a free little course that I've put together, walking you through how you would start to do that yourself. And I've built some tools as well. See, I haven't been idle. I've been busy over Christmas. Some tools that help you with that as well. So AI industry translator, for example. So that's all available on aiwithkyle.com, and that's free. You don't need an email for that. Use that. Hopefully that's handy. The capability overhang is my theme for 2026, helping people catch up and fully use it in business and in life. I'm going to hop over to some questions. Danny says, hope you had a good Christmas. Looking forward to AI updates in 2026. Yes, I did. I got back yesterday from up north. A very long drive. I don't normally drive. Having a car in London is not very useful. It costs a fortune to go anywhere and to park it and blah, blah, blah. So I don't drive it at all. I drove up north and it took a long time. AI overload. The fact that Andrej Karpathy is feeling overloaded by artificial intelligence should be reassuring for the rest of us. A guy who helped create ChatGPT had a crash on the 26th of December saying, "Oh my God, I'm falling behind. I don't understand all this stuff." The fact that a guy like that is crashing out and panicking and having a crisis of confidence means that for the rest of us mere mortals, we can breathe a sigh of relief. It's not just us. So I thought this tweet was fascinating. Even one of these guys who creates this stuff and really knows his stuff is a bit panicked. So that gives us permission to panic a little. Has anyone said you should be an actor? No, they have not. I did a drama GCSE. Does that count? Do you think there's a market demand talking about how AI can be used for solopreneurs? Yes, 100%. I don't know if he still has it. I know a guy called Ole Lehrman. I just absolutely butchered his name, sorry Ole. I don't know if he still runs AI Solopreneur. No, I don't think he does. But he's changed it into a different brand. He did very well teaching AI solopreneurs and entrepreneurs how to use artificial intelligence. I do a fair amount of that as well on AI with Kyle. I have a catalog about building businesses. My 10-week AI summer camp, for example, is free. Working out your niche, building in public, working out your business idea, how to vibe code it, build what people want, how to market it, super important, how to build your e-commerce so you can actually take payment, bootstrapping growth without cash, how to sell, a lot of people don't know how to do, and then how to go forward with AI entrepreneurship. So I've created content about this. This is the world of digital marketing and entrepreneurship, and I'm combining it with AI. You said, is there a market demand for how AI can be used by solopreneurs? That's what I do. Over the last year, I've made good money doing so. There's definitely a market for it because AI for solopreneurs, AI for people who've wanted to start a business for years is such a huge breakthrough. When I first started my early online businesses 10, 15 years ago, I had to create the websites, the product, marketing, social media. I had to set up the e-commerce, like Stripe, API hooks and webhooks. I had to work it all out myself. You could either learn all of those skills yourself, which meant it took a long time to get to revenue and you're more likely to bounce off it, or you could hire people, but that required cash, which I didn't have when I started. Or you give away a portion of your business in exchange for equity. Someone else is going to work with you on the business, but then they're going to take a percentage. So those were the main options. With AI, if I have a problem, I'll show you. Like now I'm setting up advanced analytics for my website. I know how, but I needed help. I went to ChatGPT, won't bother finding it, how to set up PostHog, how to set up all of my analytics, how to track from social media to my website to Thrivecart where I make my sales and then connect it to Search Console and Google Analytics, etc., etc. And AI was able to walk me through that step by step. Previously, even a few years ago, I'd have to pay somebody to do it, or I'd have to spend months learning how to do it. Same with my live streaming setup. Hopefully it looks okay. I talked to ChatGPT and I said, hey, I want to live stream. I want to live stream on TikTok, YouTube, my community, Instagram, Twitter, all at the same time. I want it to be in 4K. I want it to be 60 frames per second. What do I need? And it's like, okay, cool. You need this camera. You need these lights. This is the wiring diagram because it's confusing. This goes from the camera to the Elgato to the Mac through the A10 Mini Pro, blah, blah, blah. It helped me do all of that instead of me having to hire somebody to set this up for me. AI is incredibly useful for entrepreneurs who know how to use it properly because they can solve all of the very numerous blocks that we run into when we start a business. Entrepreneurship is basically problem solving, working through one thing after another until you make money. And AI can do that when it's used properly. So 100% super useful for entrepreneurs, super useful for solopreneurs as well. And more people need to be talking about it. Okay, that's all Ethan Mollick. So I'm actually gonna finish up the live. Oh, it's been 40 minutes. My idea today was just to pop on and talk about the capability overhang because there really isn't much news in artificial intelligence over the last couple of weeks. Everyone's been on holiday. I'm sure it will start next week. Capability overhang is the theme of 2026, helping people catch up with what AI can already do. People's minds are stuck 3 years ago, worrying about stupid things. That is stopping them from learning what AI can actually do for them, how it can help them set up businesses, how it can make their lives easier. I want to help people close the gap between what they think AI can do and what AI can actually do for them. If you can work that out for yourself and in your niche, then I highly recommend you also go and teach other people how to do it. One, There's an obligation for you to help people. If you've already worked it out yourself, you can make their lives a lot easier too. You can make good money, especially if you go and teach businesses and their staff members how to use artificial intelligence safely, how to use it without errors, how to discern between what they should use it on and what they shouldn't use it on. We've seen companies like Deloitte getting in trouble. Deloitte got in trouble twice, actually, because they used AI stupidly, and they released reports that had AI hallucinated footnotes in it, that it just made stuff up, and their staff members did not check. And they gave a report to the Australian government and a Canadian provincial government that was full of AI errors. That is a problem that would not have happened if Deloitte had given their staff proper AI training. And now Deloitte looked like idiots. In fact, they've made the consulting industry look a bit redundant, because clients of consultants are asking, Deloitte are using AI. Are you guys using AI as well? KPMG, PwC, why am I paying you $500,000? Why am I paying you $5 million for this? You can help companies learn how to use AI and use it safely and get paid very well for doing so. Again, I charge about $2,000 an hour to give a workshop on it. And it is, if you are interested, there is a free series on my website. I'm also doing emails about this all week. You don't need an email address to sign up. Just go to AI with Kyle, then courses, and scroll down to AI Workshop Masterclass. And it will be in there. This is just been published. As you'll notice, I'm actually missing some images. So this is a work in progress, but the content is good. I'll be finishing it up today. Make sure you are subscribed to the newsletter. I'm going to be talking about giving AI workshops this week and next week, showing you how I do it, showing you how you can work out what kind of money you can make, showing you how to define your niche, put together your first workshop, helping you to market it, etc., etc. I'm going to be covering that this week and next week, so make sure you subscribe to the newsletter. That's free to sign up to. I also have a community which you can hop into, where we're discussing these kind of topics and more, talking about artificial intelligence as a whole, answering your questions and helping people get through the capability overhang. Make sure you're signed up for both. Finally, YouTube, make sure you're subscribed. I'm at 11,600 subscribers. Please subscribe because it helps. The bigger milestone was hitting 10,000, which I wanted to hit before the end of the year, which I have done. So thank you, guys. Awesome. I will be back, and probably not Thursday, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Probably got better things to do. See you next couple of days. Thank you so much. Talk soon.